So what do you make of word now that ISIS is stepping up recruiting tactics? And I see why they're doing it, because they are losing ground in places like Iraq and Syria.
Yeah, that's exactly right, Grant, because the bottom line is now that they're having to fight warriors and not women and children, the game's changing. They always want to target those that can't defend themselves because they want to bring the mass amount of terror that they can. The bad news for us is the storm is coming. We've already seen it in London, we've seen it in Paris, and it's coming to this country. The difference is that we have a responsible armed citizenry that can make a difference in the middle of those attacks.
Yeah, and sadly, though, that responsible armed citizenry is at different levels depending on what state you live in. Clearly, here in Texas is going to be much better than in a state like Connecticut. And we are on the anniversary of the Orlando nightclub attack. And when you look at what happened there, you talk about going in and hitting a group of unarmed people and those that were weakest at the most and unexpected in the middle of the night during this attack. I think and I fear that we'll see more of this, which is why I do think it's important that people begin to arm themselves, train in the event that they experience something like this.
That's exactly the point, Grant. It's not up to the police or the military to defend us in this country. The bottom line is it's up to us. We have to own the responsibility to protect ourselves. You think, I train this, you think about how long 5 minutes can be in the middle of a crisis situation. That's an eternity. So my hope and prayer is, this is not just about terrorism. This is about an ideological takeover of our country. It was interesting. I was doing some research. In World War II, the Japanese started with 5 million fanatics, armed soldiers, absolutely committed to taking over the world. If you believe the statistics, and there are 2 billion Muslims worldwide, and 1% of them are radical, that's 20 million. So we're going to see consistent and numerous attacks across all the weak areas in our country, and that's why we do need to be wise. This is not a fear thing. This is a responsibility thing. We have a duty to protect our freedom.